I don't trust this deal that Donald Trump has done between Congo and Rwanda. Yes, it's true. It's monumental. 30 years, there hasn't been peace in that region. 30 years, no peace. And Donny T has done something or been involved in something that no US president has managed to pull off in 30 years. Managed to broker a peace deal between Congo and Rwanda. That is a big deal. Now, on one hand, remember that I told you guys, let me get some light up in here again. It's getting a little bit dark in here. Remember that I told you guys, actually, you know what, that Donny T hadn't started any wars. Well, he has now with Iran. But I also said Donny T might be the best president that Africa has dealt with from the US, the best United States president that Africa has dealt with. I did say this. People looked at me funny and said that, you know what, Mech, what are you talking about? And I said, just look at it. The guy really just didn't give a damn about Africa. He didn't really get involved in his first term in office. Well, now he is involved. And the way that he's involved is, ironically, in an extremely positive way. This is extremely positive. Now, what I'm going to do in this video is just give you a breakdown of exactly what is going on in Congo and Rwanda, because a lot of people do not know the history. And then I'll explain to you why the nature of the deal that Donny T has put on the table is, I don't trust it. That's the first thing. And second of all, it's a very good example of the kinds of deals that African countries have taken from Western nations that have put us in the exact problems and condition that we're in today. So, most of you, when you hear Congo and Rwanda, you hear the name Congo and Rwanda, the thing that you think of, the thing that comes to mind is the Rwanda genocide in 1994. Now, the Rwanda genocide were between two ethnic groups, the Hutus and the Tutsis. Now, Rwanda was, I think, first of all, a German colony, but then it was taken over by Belgium, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, like, guys, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that Belgium definitely took over Congo, but I believe that it was Germany that was in charge of it first. Now, these are the things that happened that created the tension. So when the Belgians took over Congo, they created essentially what you can call a caste system. They created a scenario where, oh, who's this? They created a situation, sorry guys, somebody was calling here, I don't know what that was about, where the Hutus and the Tutsis were separated, okay? Let me get out of here, guys. I don't know what's going on over here. Some strange folks. Saying, excuse me, excuse yourself. Anyway, so the Hutus and the Tutsis, okay, were separated based on phenotype. Phenotype meaning facial structures, physical attributes, and so forth. So Hutus typically had a more, I don't know if you can think about it like a more African features, darker features, while the Tutsis had more European, leaner, thinner features, and so on and so forth. So they were treated more favorably, and there were ID cards that were given out to the different groups so that they could be identified easily by the Belgians for preferential treatment. Obviously, this created a lot of animosity between the two groups, and when the Belgians left, it was all-out war, because the Hutus obviously had built up a lot of bad blood with the Tutsis during this time. And it was pandemonium, as you know, what happened. You know, when these guys went bananas in the 1994 genocide. Now, there were two, it's a simplification, guys, so forgive the simplification of it. Of course, it's more complicated. But there were two militant groups that came out of these two tribes. The first one is called the FDLR, the Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Rwanda, okay? A lot of whom are Hutus who people believe were involved in the genocide in 1994, okay? Bear that in mind. The second group is M23, which came about in 2012, who are formed mainly of Tutsis, who were fighting for the rights of Tutsis in Congo, who they felt were being marginalized by the Congolese government, okay? Those are the two groups. The M23 group have actually been in the news recently, because I reported on that a few months ago, whereby they took over some mines which are in the Congolese, the Goma region of Congo and so forth. And I was questioning as to why the Western governments had made a deal with Rwanda, knowing that the Rwanda government have allegedly been in league or in connection with the M23 group. So I was worried that we were going and heading for all-out war between Congo and Rwanda. I have a video about it. I have all of these things about it. Now, the reason why people should be interested in all of this is that Congo is one of the most mineral resource-rich places on the planet. It's got everything. Like, it's got so many resources: cobalt, coltan, lithium, gold, diamonds, all of these things, right? So this is the reason why it is an extremely valuable part of the world to have control over, especially as we now move towards green energy. Green energy and the resources that they have in that region go hand in hand. So electric cars, batteries, all of these things, the Congolese resources are very important for the direction in which the modern, the world is going in now. All right. So I thought there was going to be all-out war. That's what I really believed. I said that, this is where we're heading, because it feels like the West were backing Rwanda, supporting Rwanda. Tshisekedi, we've got Kagame of Rwanda, who I felt was, really a darling of the West, and Tshisekedi of the Congo, who was trying to do deals with all of these countries to try and figure things out, so on and so forth. Donity comes along and does this deal. But you look at it and say, wait a minute, America is suddenly doing a deal, brokering a deal between Congo and Rwanda for what? Why would they do this? That's when I first read the report, I was very surprised. I was like, wait a minute, where did that come from all of a sudden? Where did that come from? Guys, I want to show you where I am, because this is actually a very pretty alcove. I want to show you where I am here. Look at that, guys. Isn't that wonderful? Look at this alcove, guys. Look at this alcove. Just wanted to show you this. This is really nice, isn't it? Wow. All right. Anyway, let me get back to what I'm saying. So I was looking at this thing and saying to myself that, why were they so... I mean, the reason why I even clicked on it was that Donny T was talking about how beautiful this Congolese reporter was, saying that he's going to get into trouble if his wife finds out that he called her beautiful and so on and so forth. And then I started reading it and I said, you know what? There is no way on the surface of the planet that America is going to do a deal to give peace to Congo if they're not getting something out of it. I kept reading the article, and lo and behold, there's a mineral deal involved. There's a mineral deal involved. There is a mineral deal between America, Congo, and Rwanda in exchange for doing this peace deal. So basically, it's a bribe. Guys, how do you pay for peace? That means that the peace is not real peace. What are we talking about here? Like, you're going to pay for peace? That means that it's just a bribe. They're just saying that, listen, if you guys stop fighting each other, we're going to pay each of you X amount. You give us these minerals, you give us these minerals. Wow. So we're not talking about the sovereignty of these countries. We're talking about you giving more minerals to America. Listen, let me explain something to you guys that you need to understand. A lot of the conflict between Congo and Rwanda is because of the West's appetite for the minerals in the region. Who do you think they're selling the minerals to? If Rwanda was truly stealing minerals from Congo, who do you think they're selling it to? The wind? Mickey Mouse? Of course they're selling it to the West. So for them now to come in and say that we're going to do a deal with you for minerals, it's essentially you're just legitimizing the exact same relationship that caused the problem in the first place. On top of that, this is the craziest part about this entire deal. Where was M23 in this? Because part of the deal is that FDLR, which is Congolese people, the people, the Hutus, is to dismantle them. So Tshisekedi has agreed that he's going to work to dismantle the FDLR. Okay, what about M23, the Rwanda folks? You think that you're going to have peace if you're only going to dismantle one of the rebels? You see what I'm saying, guys? This is ridiculous. Like, and in fact, I'm looking at America, I'm thinking to myself that, you've got to know that this is not going to last. You've got to know it's not going to last. And this is just all about money. Who's getting paid? Guys, am I being cynical? No, guys, listen, let me sit down here because I think that we have to talk about this properly because, there are guys that are going to be saying, Mech, come on now, Mech. Stop being a cynic. Let me sit down here. Guys, am I being cynical? Am I being cynical, guys? No, I'm asking you. The deal is not going to stand. Now, this situation is very, very connected to the issues that we have in Africa. You see, every relationship that Africa has with Western nations is based on what Africa is giving them. And it's usually not a fair deal. You heard me say it correctly. It's usually not a fair deal. In fact, usually, it's never a fair deal. Name an African country where the deal that they have with the West is fair. Name an African country where the deal that they have with the West is fair. It's never fair. It's never a fair deal. So when I see something like this, I'm thinking to myself that, oh, wow, Congo has just signed away their sovereignty, and so has Rwanda. Rwanda, we already knew that their sovereignty never existed. These guys have been in the pockets of these guys for the last 30 years, which is the reason why Kagame is still in power. But as far as Congo is concerned, I'm like, oh my goodness, like now, the entire situation now is legitimized plundering. This is legitimized plundering of that entire region. And do you know the sickest part about this entire thing? This has happened quietly, no mainstream media coverage except for, oh, you look so beautiful to the reporter. Nobody's really talking about this. African platforms, they're not really talking about it. I was going on all the African platforms. This should be the biggest story on every Pan-African platform right now. Should be this story. This should be the biggest story. Nobody's talking about it. Look at that sunshine. Woo-wee! Damn. The sun came out for that point. The sun came out for the point. Guys, you come to my channel for the real talk. You come to the channel for the real talk. Guys, this is crazy to me. Nobody's talking about it. I want you to put in the comments what you think. Do you trust Donny T? Does he deserve credit for this? When he said that he should get a Nobel Prize, do you believe that he deserves a Nobel Prize for this? Donny T? For better or worse, let me not lie, at least they've stopped killing people over there. So whether it's not real, it's not legit or anything, give Donny T a little bit of credit that he figured out how to, even though the deal is always self-serving, why didn't Joey B figure this out? Why didn't any of these other guys figure this out? Even if it's self-serving. So let's give credit where credit is due to a degree, but I don't trust it. I don't trust it. And I think this is an example of what is wrong with Africa. So we can't have peace without doing a deal to give somebody something. We can't figure it out for ourselves. We need America to come and pay us off to stop killing each other. Have you ever heard of anything so mad? We need America to pay us off to stop killing each other so we can sell them more goods. The reason why we're killing each other in the first place is because we're selling goods to them. But we need them to pay us off, so we'll stop. Guys, we're finished. Guys, we're finished. And I'm telling you as it is. That's what's going on in Congo and Rwanda, people. We're finished. What the hell was that? Did you hear that? What the hell? Guys, let's see. What the hell was that? Guys, it came from up here. Did you hear that? Wow. All right, let me move out of here, guys. That was weird. Sounded like an alien. Guys, you know what? Leave it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Bananas. Oh, and by the way, newsletter. Make sure that you're signed up to the newsletter. Links in the description. Do not leave this video without signing up to the newsletter. Very important to stay connected. Otherwise, you know what? The good stuff you're going to miss. Okay? Cheers.